Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pro Series Part 1. We'll be going over the platform layout and vocabulary. My name is Jeff. We are live. I'm here in Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to the rodeo. Hope everyone can hear me out okay. Check one, check two. Good, good. Throw a little yes in the question box if you can hear me. We're good. Thank you. All right, so basically we did this series the last 3 weeks, part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this pro series over the last 3 weeks. We made the decision to bring it back on a weekly basis. So every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're rocking out here 6 p.m. Central Time here in Chicago, and just going over the fundamentals of Nadex, the platform, the products you're going to be trading here, and the charting and some technical analysis. I mean, all that's covered in these three series that we do. So if you're new to this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're Mountain or Pacific, you do the math. A couple of things I want to address. Welcome everyone this evening. I have my shirt on, by the way. Sacrifices. All right. You guys are sacrificing a little bit today. So I appreciate you guys joining me. Hopefully you guys are able to learn a little bit about our platform and some vocabulary that you want to be familiar with. So a couple of things I want to go over here real quick before I get started. Just a little bit about me. My name is Jeff Cook, like Jeff the Chef, giving you the recipe for success. I'm a Nadex educator here, been here for about 4.5 years. I graduated at SIUC in economics and finance. I can speak a little bit of Spanish as well. But overall, I like to help out new traders get involved into the markets, whether it's supplemental income or long-term income or, just as a hobby. I think trading is cool, and that's why I do what I do. So that's a little bit about me. Couple of things I need to address real quick. So this is a risk disclosure. Just take the time, read through it. I'll just address some of the key points. Essentially, number one, past performance is not indicative of future results. Number two, don't trade with your rent money or your food money or anything like that. Try to set some money aside. For our live account, our minimum initial deposit is $250. Make sure that it's money that you can afford to lose. Outside of that, take a look. Just read through the risk disclosure. Trading's risky. You get the picture. I'm going to go through and get a disclaimer here. So just again, take a moment, read through it. This is just basically saying this is Nadex's material. Don't copyright it. It's for educational purposes, that kind of stuff. So that's the disclaimer. Alrighty then. So a couple of things here. This is really going to be the bulk of what we're going to be going through. I'll be trying to go through it on a little bit more of a detailed level. But overall, we're going to log in. We're going to keep it real simple. We're going to choose a market and a product to trade. And we're going to go over the markets window and how to find not only the product, but the market and the time frame that best fits your scenario and how to go about that. We'll be going over using a ticket to place an order, going through the ticket, what everything means, the buy side, the sell side, the order type, etc. We'll also be going over like how to manage an open position. So maybe you're in a trade and you want to know how to close out of a trade early, and understanding that window. That way you're able to manage your position and you're in control of your money. And then just managing your preferences. So at the end of the webinar, before questions, I'll basically just go over some of the preferences, make sure that you're customizing this platform, at least on the computer, to how you want it. And we have Nadex Go as well, which is on your phone. So if you've ever been on your phone, nadex.com, if that's easier for you, or on your iPhone or Android, you can go to nadex.com, log in the top right-hand corner, and actually use our Nadex Go platform as well. But this is for the computer. This is how it would look on the computer at this point. So that's what we're going to be going through. Questions. So if you guys have questions for me, obviously I'm live. You guys can see me. I'm going to try to keep it light, pretty fun. Hopefully I'm entertaining for you guys. But overall, I have my colleague Nick, who is also here. You don't see him on the telly, but he is here helping me out, and he's going to be answering questions live as I'm going through this webinar. I'm going to try to wrap this up in about 35, 40 minutes. I go deep, but hopefully I do it right for y'all. If it's a complex question, I'll probably reach out to it after the webinar. So if you guys want to stick around, hear other people's questions, etc., feel free to do so. Otherwise, ask questions along the way. Nick's got you covered. All right, cool. So you guys hopefully should see the Nadex homepage. So like right here, I'm on nadex.com, real easy. If I were to hit the login button, it takes me to the login page. All right, I'm going to go back and keep it at the homepage because I have the login page on a separate tab. So I'm on the login page right here, and you have a live account and you have a demo account. There's two types of accounts that you can have here at Nadex. I'm going to be using the demo account today. So I'm going to use my demo account. I got demo-webinars, and then I got my password. When you check that demo account box, it just puts demo- before your username. So if you're having trouble even logging in, just make sure you got your username and then you got demo- behind it if you're trading on the demo. Obviously, live doesn't have that there. Then you got your password. I click log in, and it should log me in to the platform. So again, doing this live, and the first thing that's going to come up for me is the welcome message. So you want to kind of pay attention to this. A lot of you might have signed up actually for this webinar on this page. You can see, you can sign up for it here on the welcome message. We also have really important information such as like holidays and things of that nature, and symbol changes, etc. So, I mean, just as a knowledgeable trader, I think it's important to maybe get into the habit of just taking a quick glance at that welcome message. Just make sure that there's not anything that you're missing, that you don't want to miss. So I'm going to go ahead and X out of the welcome message, or I can save and continue. Either one, I'll X out of the welcome message. And this is essentially what you see when you first log in, okay? And this probably actually looks something like so. In fact, if I were to go to layouts real quick and go to the standard, all right, this is essentially what you'd see like out the gate. And basically, the first thing that I want to address, like before I dive into the markets window, is like I said, I mentioned about like demo and live. The big difference I'd say about between the two is that demos for practicing the mechanics and testing your strategies. There's typically fewer market makers in the demo environment. People sometimes do things that they don't do in live, like place 1,000 lot orders across multiple strikes. I mean, you start off with like $25,000 up here. I think you should be able to see that. And essentially, that's what the demo's for. Occasionally there are updates in the demo environment before live, but overall demos for practicing the mechanics, getting yourself comfortable. So it's a good place to kind of figure things out. So if you're watching this and maybe on the demo yourself, touche. Either way. So that is what the demo account is versus the live, but they're pretty similar overall. Good place to practice. So the first thing you need to know how to do is choose a product, a market, and a time frame to trade. So we're going to focus our eyes over here on the left-hand side. All right. And you're going to see the market filter tab and the finder tab. All right. And then over here on the left-hand side, this is really what we're going to be focusing on. So I click on the finder tab. All right. I need to find my product, which is a binary option, a spread option, or a touch bracket. Check me out. Sorry for hitting the mic. Check me out for tomorrow, actually at 6 p.m. Central Time, to actually go through those three products in depth. But those are the three products we have. So if you're trading at Nadex, you're looking to trade one of those three types of products. All right. And then inside of those three products, we have basically three different types of markets. We have indices futures, we have spot forex, and then we have commodities futures as well. So those are the three different types of markets. You're not trading like an individual stock here, but you're trading more like macroeconomics. Think about that. And those would be located over here on the left-hand side. All right. So for example, if I were to want to maybe is here to trade binaries, and I was maybe interested to trade the S&P 500 futures market, I could click on the indices binaries, and notice I never click on the plus sign. It's kind of a waste of time. It leads you to like a kind of like a no man's land. It just keeps everything in this finder window, and you don't want to do that. So I never click on the plus signs, but what I do is click on the words. So if I click on indices binaries, easy. Then I go to US 500, you can see all the different types of markets that we have here. All right. And then if I clicked on US 500, the words, it brings me up daily, 415, and weekly. So currently, these are the two time frames that we have available. It's funny because we actually have other time frames for the S&P 500, but they're currently not trading at this time of day. I mean, we're rocking, we're rocking like 6:10 p.m. here in Chicago. So just something to think about. But while we're on that topic, if I were to go to the homepage, so I'm doing is just, I'm not on the platform anymore. I'm just going to the homepage. If I were to go to markets tab up here, and I were to go to like click on one of these different market classes, like stock indices, like what we're looking at now, it's going to have an array of different information that I think is helpful. But if you scroll down here at the bottom, there's this little bitty button called Stock Indices Contract Specifications. You can find that button on every single market class. And what this does is it actually goes over a lot of things. So two things I want to cover here. Number one, when you see US 500, I mean, some people might even be asking like, well, what even is that? You might have an educated guess, but it's basically the Chicago Mercantile Exchange E-mini S&P 500 Index futures. So that's the underlying market that you're actually trading, right? You're not trading the spot, all right, here. You're trading the futures, the CME E-mini S&P 500 Index futures, right? And right now we're in the month of June. But overall, all right, if you wanted to know more about like the symbols and all that, you can click up here at the top. And then it actually brings up like a rollover symbol where you can actually see, if I'll scroll down here real quick, it's probably going fast on your guys' phones and computers, but you'll see down here at the bottom, we're trading the US 500. This is the underlying market. This is the different symbols, that are available for the different futures. So right now we're in between March 9th and June 14th. So this would be June. All right. Hence, whenever you go over to the platform, you see June. All right. But the actual product isn't US 500. That's just what Nadex calls it for copyright purposes. Cool. What I also want to show you here, number two here, is the time frame. So when you want to know like the innards, I guess you should say, of each of these markets, like what time frames are available, when do these time frames expire, how many strike prices are there available for those time frames, all of that stuff, all good stuff, right? So all this stuff right here is going to show you what time frames we have available for a specific market. So if I went down to US 500, which is the market that we're looking at now, we have 20-minute binaries available. We have 2-hour time frames available, daily and weekly. And we call intraday. We use that for like a 2-hour time span from a terminology perspective. All right, but those are the 4 time frames you can trade: 20-minute, 2-hour, daily, and weekly. For other markets, we have 5-minute time frames, and some of you guys might be here for that. But either way, those are the time frames that we have, and you just find that under the markets tab, clicking on the market class, going down, finding that button, bop, 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 you're here, shows you the goodies. Cool? So that tells you a little bit about the time frames available, but it's 6:13 p.m. here in Chicago. So we only have daily and weekly available right now. When I click on the word daily, it brings up my markets window. So before, you might not have actually had that. You might have just seen a watch list window here. But when you click on that actual word, it brings that markets window right there to where you want it. All right. So by the way, you see what I did there? I just took that markets window and I just collided it with my watch list window. Some people like to have these things organized, just to, it's a layout feel. Keep it customized, do you? All right. But overall, I got the markets window here. So we just went over the finder window, finding the product, binary, spread, bracket. Then we're going to the market classes. Am I looking to trade indices futures? Am I looking to trade forex currency pairs? Am I looking to trade, commodities futures like gold and crude oil and things like that? It's really up to you. But we're going to look at the US 500 today. All right. And it's going to bring up this markets window here. Cool. Let's go over this markets window a little bit. We got to know what these columns mean. Why are things blinking? What's going on? Oh my. So first things first, we got different contracts available. And I'm going to kick this down here real quick. And just to show you guys, there's a lot of these babies. Cool. See that? A lot of them. All right. These all expire at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So this contract column here just gives us the contract that we're, the market that we're trading, the futures month, right? If you were trading forex, you wouldn't have a futures month because it's a spot market. All right. Then you have your strike price. So we're looking at a binary option right now. A binary option is one of our 3 products. Again, I'm going to go over these heavy tomorrow, but basically it's a strike price that we need the market to finish above if we're a buyer, or equal to or below if we're a seller. And a binary option at Nadex is priced out of $100. So at best, your contract can be worth $100. At worst, your contract can be worth 0 or worthless, okay, per one contract. So just keep that in mind, all right? But this is the number that we need the market to finish above, right, or below. So this is this is that line in the sand if you were trading a binary option. At expiration, the market's going to finish above it or below it. Cool? Then we have the time frame of when it expires, 4:15 p.m. tomorrow. We have a little charts icon here. If you clicked on it, it's a nice little booger. We got the binary ladder chart. Hopefully you guys can see that. It just pulls that up. And I got a bunch of lines and stuff like that up right now. I was going over some things earlier last week, haven't taken them off, but you can expand it. You can open it up in a new window. If you have multiple monitors or you're chilling with your laptop and your TV, you can throw this over to like another screen. You see how that's leaving my screen. All right. But that's charts. And then you have, and I'm going over charts in depth in part 3 of the Pro Series, by the way. So tune in on Thursday at 6 p.m. It's going to be hot. This is a drop-down arrow, order ticket, quick chart, Nadex settlement, binary ladder. This is just where you can pull off a couple of things like a tear-off ticket. It's opened in its own window. So again, if you had multiple monitors, maybe you just have a ticket here chilling. You're just kind of watching or monitoring a price. Overall, you can pull up a couple of things here in this drop-down menu. You have time left. Basically just tells you how much time is left until the contract expires, either in your favor or not. It's a binary option. It's yes or no. It's either going to happen or it's not. Only time will tell, and we'll know in 20 hours and 57 minutes for this time frame here. Expiry just expires when the date, tomorrow. Bid size and offer size. I'm going to go over these a little bit more in depth when we open up a ticket, but basically just think inventory. All right, you're shaking hands with another person here at the exchange. So I kind of like to think as Nadex is like a big parking lot, and we just have all the people come in and park in and talk to each other and trade amongst each other. We just bring buyers and sellers together in a regulated environment, and basically as an exchange, because we're not a brokerage, but basically we have offer size and bid size, and that's just like the number of contracts that are available at that specific market price that you see at that moment. Okay, but we'll get into it more in the ticket. We have the offer column and the bid column. These are pretty important columns to know, and they're blinking at this very moment because the prices are changing. So if you're a buyer of any market here at Nadex, buyers make bids and buyers need to match up with a seller's offer. Okay, so if a seller is offering it to you for $63, well, then that contract would cost you $63 as a buyer. Okay, if you're a seller, remember buyers make bids. So if a buyer is willing to bid $59.50, it's a $100 contract. Basically, you're risking, about $61. I mean, $31 right here. Actually, $41.50, $41.50, and yeah, $41.75. It's just the reciprocal of 100 in that number, right? So if I were to take like 29, if I'm selling at 29, I'm risking 71 to make 29. Max loss 71, max profit 29. I'm not going to go into this crazy heavy, but it's important to know when you're a buyer, offer column. When you're a seller, you're looking at this column here. All right, and they're just blinking because the prices are changing. Cool. Update, not that important, but just when the last time the price changed. Indicative price. This is a pretty important column. Basically, this is just a representation of, or like the finite moving average of the underlying market price. Couple things about the indicative price. What it is just a representation of the underlying market, essentially is really what it is. It's an ongoing calculation. actually the same formula used in settling contracts on like a select sample set of the underlying data. It's very similar, like I said, to a finite moving average of the underlying market price using our settlement calculation. If you want to know a little bit more about how the indicative price is calculated, by the way, I think it's a really, really good tool to use. It's a really, really good, close, accurate representation of where the market's currently trading, but it is not the tick-by-tick underlying market price. That's basically the biggest difference, I would say. With the indicative price, if you want to know more about how it actually is calculated, what you can do is go to FAQs under Learning Center right here. Go down here to FAQs. I think if you go to trading on Nadex, a lot of stuff here, by the way, really, really good stuff. Check it out if you haven't. If you're especially getting started, FAQs is a really good place to learn a lot of things really fast. How is the expiration value calculated right here? This breaks it down to you, right? So like if you wanted to know how a contract was calculated at expiration, like what number is used, basically this is how it breaks it down. FX, indices, and commodities, this really gives you the detailed examples. If you got any questions about that, feel free to ask. So that is the indicative price. So that is a representation of where the market's trading right now. So that's good to know. Market's trading at 29.53. All right, we know these are the different contracts that we have available. This is the time frame that we have available. If we were looking to trade a binary option, we're in the right place for a daily position for the S&P 500 futures markets. All right, so that's really the markets window. All right, now what I want to do now is place a trade. And again, this is just hypothetical. I'm just going over, really the the educational side of just like going through the actual part of a trade. I'm not, giving any advice in any way, shape, or form. It's just practice. We're just keeping it educational. All right. But with that being said, let's choose a contract here. So I don't know. I'll just throw it out there. Jerome Powell is speaking tomorrow, I believe, for the Fed meeting. So we'll kind of know a little bit more about interest rates. If you follow any economic news, check out an economic calendar if you haven't already. But overall, Jerome Powell is going to be speaking tomorrow a little bit about monetary policy, and that's going to be happening. So we might see some movement in the markets perhaps, but let's say for some reason, I just think that, this market's going to go up for some reason, okay? So if that were the case, I'd be a buyer of a binary option, all right? And you can always be a seller too, all right? But we're just using a buy as this example, all right? But right now the market's at 29.53. Let's say, hey, I think the market's going to stay above 29.49, all right? I click on that contract, and by the way, if you click on the actual number, it highlights that field already in the ticket. So just one step faster if you want to be a little bit faster in the process, right? So I'm like, okay, bop, sell, all right? Or bop, buy. It's already filled into the ticket, okay? Cool little tip. Now, hopefully you guys can see this. Good. So basically, getting hot. Basically, we have a ticket here, and at the top, let's break it down. We got the market we're trading. We got the strike price, greater than 29.49. If we're a buyer, then we're saying we think it's going to finish above 29.49 in 20 hours and 51 minutes. Cool? Where's the market trading at now? It's currently at 29.53. All right? So the market is currently 4 points above our strike price. As long as the market settles above 29.49 in 20 hours and 50 minutes, I would get a $100 payout for my one binary option contract. All right. And I can get into 10 contracts or 20 contracts or whatever pleases you. But per one contract, valued out of $100. Cool. So this right here, so this all stuff is good stuff. Just make sure that you're looking at those things before you place a trade. All right. Make sure you're in the right contract. Make sure you understand where the market's trading at. Make sure you understand how much time you have left in your position, because all that stuff matters, right? This market moves, your value could go up or down, right? As time ticks down, your value of your contract could go up and down. So just knowing where you are. This is top and depth. Top just shows you the best available market price at the moment on the buy and sell side. It shows you how many contracts are available for this price. Depth Just shows you all of the different orders that are out there on the demo platform right now. So there is 250 contracts available at 62.50, and then there's 100 contracts available at 62.75. So it just shows you the depth of the orders that are of interest into these or into this contract, right? So if you want, I really just kind of keep it at top. It just lets me know where the best available prices are. With that being said, I need to have a direction. So if I'm trading a binary option, then I have to be a buyer or a seller, right? As is with a bracket and a spread. But if I click buy, because I think the market's going to finish above this, remember educational, hypothetical, we're just doing an example here, right? I would click that. That will let me know I think the market's going to finish above this strike price in 20 hours. Now we got the the meat and potatoes here down at the bottom. We got to make sure it's all good. Order type, limit GTC or market order. Let's break it down. Limit GTC, pretty nice order. It's an order that lets you get into a contract at the price that you set. Limit the order at a specific price, and it's good till canceled. GTC, good till canceled. Now, if I do a market order, see, watch this price field go away, because it's taking the best available price and then adding a tolerance. We'll go over tolerance a little bit later. All right. But it's kind of like tolerance is kind of like the amount of give that you're willing to have to make sure that you get filled. All right. So let's go back to limit GTC. This allows me to set the tone. Allows me to set the specific price that I want to use to get into the trade. 2 order types. Size, the number of contracts that we're looking to get into. You can get into 1, you can get into 10. You see how that changes your max loss and your max profit? Doesn't matter, all right? But we're looking to trade 1 contract right now to keep the math real simple. Now, we got a price. This allows us to define what we're willing to pay or risk to get into the contract. Now, what I'm going to do is a couple things here real quick. I'm just going to kick this back down, and then I'm going to open up this open positions window. I'm going to kind of keep it normal to how you guys probably see it, at least when you guys first open it. Pop. All right, cool. So got my ticket. And if I do an order like this, okay, let's say I want to get into this trade, but I want to actually get in at a specific price, and maybe I want to kind of chop the offer and the bid. So right now the best available price to get in at and get filled is 63.50. Well, let's say, hey, I want to see if I can get this contract a little bit cheaper. So I put in a price of 60. I hit play. I got my buy. I know what I'm looking at here. The market's here. I need it to finish above here. Cool. 1 contract, limit GTC. What's it going to fill at? This price. Great. Max loss 60, max profit 40, $100 contract. Makes sense. Place order. Boom. Now what's funny is we're not even in the position yet. Didn't get filled. So when I did that limit GTC order, what I'm doing is I'm setting that line in the sand of what I'm willing to risk to get into the trade. So I know that the best available price to make sure I got filled right away was going for $63.25. But guess what? Jeffy is trying to get in for $60. So I basically have a working order down here in the working orders window. Let's break that down. We got the contract we're looking into. We got the time left. All that stuff all makes sense, similar to the markets window. A couple of differences here. Order size, I have 1 order out there waiting to be filled at a price of 60. Working +1, I'm a buyer, it's blue. Blue is buy. All right. I don't have a R word for sell yet, but I'll look one up. Good tell, GTC, the type of order it is. It's the only type of order you'll see here. Because if it's a market order, it's fill or kill. It's either filled immediately or it's canceled. This is where the current best available price is going for right now, 63.75. This is what we're trying to get into this bad boy for here at 60. That comes down to that. This contract's going to go to here. Cool. That right there is a working order in the working orders window. That's me doing a limit GTC and trying to get into this basically at a specific price. Now, what I could also do, all right, is click on that same contract. All right. Oh, and by the way, one quick thing I want to go over. If I click on this contract in the working orders window, you can actually edit or amend the order. And so maybe I'm like, it's up to 64 now. Maybe I'm willing to pay 62 and I kind of want to trail it a little bit. I could do that. And then I could amend it. And then it would change it in the working orders window. That's important. All right. I can also delete my working order. Cool. So if I hit this delete remainder, I'm going to let it sit there, by the way. But if I hit delete remainder, this would go away. Okay. But that's just changing the actual working order and amending it. That's important to know, especially if you're doing limit orders and maybe you want to trail, the market moving up or something like that. All right. With that being said, I'm going to go back to that same contract. So 29.49. Again, I can also do limit GTC. I can have the price that's, right around where the market's at right now. I can place my order right there. And I basically matched up with the best offer out there, even though I did limit GTC. And that's why it was filled right away. All right. And now we have this contract and we're actually filled. So I have one contract waiting maybe to get in for a little bit of a price decrease at 62. And then I have not only that one, but I also have the open position going on right now, which just got filled, right? So here's my contract. I want this market to be above 29.49. I got my charts icon right here. If I want to pull that up, I could look at my open position, see what it's looking like on my chart. All right, and then I got time left. Hey, this contract's going to expire in 20 hours and 42 minutes. It's either going to finish above 29.49 or it's not, period. And right now it's a 29.53. So we're currently above it, as shown here by the indicative index. Average price, big call in the no right here. What we paid to get into the position. So $64 right here is what I am at risk of losing if this contract settled out of the money, right? Or not, or equal to or below 29.49 by tomorrow, right? Positions +1, I got into one position, unless this one wants to come down and get filled. Current market. So you have the position, you have the availability to actually close out of your position early. And basically this current market is a representation of what the market's currently going for, or the best available price out there on the market if you wanted to, shake hands with someone else and close your position and give it to someone else, right? So right now, I got in for 64, all right? There's someone out there willing to give 62, all right? And that means that if I were to get out of this contract right now, I would take a $2 loss. I paid 64 to get in. I got 62 back. I took a $2 loss. And at Nadex, we charge you $1 fee to enter a position or to fill a position, and we charge a $1 fee on the way out. All right, under 50 contracts, and then when you go above 50, it's a little bit different. If you got questions about that, feel free to ask me. But dollar in, dollar out. If you're not making more than $2 on a contract, you're not usually making money. So right now, we got 64, right? Plus, we're going to pay the $1 in to get into the trade and potentially another $1 to execute it as well to close my position. So I look at it like I have 66 invested, all right? And right now it's going for 62. So I'd be at about a $4 loss in total if I were to close it at this moment. But my profit loss is -2, just based on if I were to close my position early. I could wait till this thing goes up a little bit if this market decides to go up in value, right? Or if time ticks down and the market stays above this strike price, the value would slowly creep up. All right, because the probability of success is becoming a little bit greater and greater and greater based on the time left and the distance between the current underlying market price and the strike price that I have on my contract. That's a binary anyways. Touch brackets and spreads are different. But this is an open position window, right? So if I said, hey, I didn't want to be in this contract anymore, I could click on this contract in the open positions window. This is huge. Why? Because I don't want to go digging around for this contract over here in the markets window. I don't want to do that. I don't want to come up here and then have to make sure I select my side. Now I'm all confused. I'm buying a buy or I'm selling a sell. I don't want that stuff. Be better than that, right? So we want to go ahead and click on this contract here in the open positions window. That way this ticket is designed for me to close. Cool. So my sell side's already selected. Why? Because I bought it to get in. I need to sell, get out. Now I got a couple of options if I wanted to close my trade. Remember those order types we talked about? Maybe I want to get out of the position right away, and I don't have time to think about what I'm looking to get out for, right? Market order might fit me there, okay? Might potentially fit me. Market order's going to give me out the best available price. Someone's willing to get in at 62. What's funny is that's probably me with my one working order out there. See me? All right. And then we have limit GTC as well, which says, hey, this is really cool, by the way. So this is a daily contract. We got a lot of time. We're gonna have some, energy tomorrow with the Fed meeting and Jerome Powell. Say, hey, I got into this at 62. Hey, I don't know if I'm gonna wait until 4:15 p.m. tomorrow, but hey, if the value of this contract goes up $20, maybe I'm cool with that. And if that's something that you have to decide, but maybe we can do something like 82 as an example. And so I put in a limit GTC order, limit that order to get filled at the price that I set, 82. Place order, bop. We got in at 64. Oops. Change it to 84. Boop. I'm in order. Check that out. Now, we got our limit order set to close our position at 84. So if the value of this contract ever hits $84, this contract would close automatically, and you'd be out of the position, and you'd be up $20 in profit on the contract minus the $2 in fees, right? So you'd make 18 buckaroos if that were to happen. If it doesn't happen, then it's going to stay sitting there in the working orders window until you cancel it, or it gets filled, or the contract settles worthless, and then this working order would just disappear. Cool. So we got it all. We nailed it. We knocked it out. Market order. I want to go over tolerance range, and to do that, I want to cap this off by saying a few things. Number one, went to the finder window. Find the market or find the product, binary option, spread option, touch bracket. Know what market you're looking to get into. And if you don't know, follow our Twitter account. Check us out there at Nadex. Go to our Facebook page. Go to websites and, make sure you have a good understanding of maybe what market, one or two or three markets you're looking to trade. If you don't know, give us a call if you have questions or anything like that, what interests you, etc. But finding a market, finding a time frame to capture your expectation. Do I think this market's going to go up? Do I think this market's going to go down? Do I think this market's going to stay flat and I want to trap it? Do I think this market's going to be extremely volatile and I want to capture the market going really big one way or the other? Those are about the four things that could happen in a market between now and the future. And you're using these three types of products and markets and time frames to capture those expectations. Very short term, very day trading-esque, very swing trading-esque. It's good for a week or less. You can get in and out as many times as you want. You don't have no pattern day trading rule. It's pretty awesome. All right. But now we know how to actually use the finder window. We know how to actually use the markets window to find the product that we're looking for. We know how to manage our position using the working orders window or the open positions window if we're already filled, and how to close early before expiration if necessary. So we're set on that. All we need to know how to do now is go to my account in the top left-hand corner. This goes over a lot of goodies. If I ever wanted to check out my history, I go to transactions right here and hit view history, or if you have Microsoft Excel or some like application that that reads a CSV file, you can actually hit download history, and that's pretty cool. It just pops up a little CSV file down here. You guys might be able to see it. And then I can open up Microsoft Excel, and then it actually show my history there. Count funding when you're looking to fund and deposit and withdrawal, and add a debit card on your wallet, or verify your bank details, or have to upload a bank statement, or any of those things. This would be where you do that stuff. Settings. This is what I wanted to get to here. So preferences. If you were to go down here, a lot of good stuff you can trade. Think of like changing here. It's really up to you. Customize it according to how you're looking to trade and how you're looking to attack. But default order type, when you open up that ticket, do you want it to be set to limit GTC or market order? Default order size. When I open up my ticket, I have my size already set to 1 and not 0, right? So I'm already assuming that I'm looking to at least get into 1 position when I open up that ticket. It's just 1 less field that I have to worry about changing. Market order price tolerance preference. So I'm going to finish with this. Basically, when you're doing a market order, you have a tolerance range. So if you're not familiar with that, basically a market order is a fill or kill order. So it's going to immediately be filled at the best available price, or it is going to get filled at the best available price within that tolerance range, right? So for example, if I have my tolerance range set at 5, all right, and I can save this real quick and set my preferences. When I open up a market order, hold on 1 second. Boom. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to refresh my browser real quick. Exit. Markets, US 500, daily, 2049. Ticket, cool. All right, so market order. All right, you see how that's $5 higher. So the best available price out there right now is 65.25, and there's 250 of them. But my max loss shows $5 higher, 70.25. And the reason why is that my one contract will get filled at the best price between 65 and between 70.25 and less, right? So it's going to be filled at the best available price, between 70.25 and less, right? Right now, the best available price is 65.25. They have a really good chance of getting filled there, but if there wasn't any positions available at that price, or something changed when you were looking to place the order, this is what you'd be filled up to. So if it went from 65.25 and then 1 second later it's at 75.25, I wouldn't be filled because I'm only covered up to 70.25, and now I'm $10 higher, and it bounced out of my $5 range, right? So that's just tolerance range. If you got more questions on that, feel free to ask Nick, myself. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, we're at what, 42 minutes right now? I think last time I finished in 44, so chopping it off by 2 minutes. But overall, we went over a lot of really good stuff today. A couple of things I want to address before I end the webinar. 24-hour client support. If you're a talker, give us a call, 877-776-2339. We have 24-hour client support. We have people over here right now that are speaking to people at this very moment. So if you have things to take care of as far as funding or withdrawing, or you want help getting started, or you're looking to open up an account, or you need anything at all, feel free to touch base with me or touch base with us at that number. You also can email us in regards to your account at customerservice@nadex.com. Live demo, doesn't matter. Email us, ask questions. Knowledge is power. Put yourself in the best position for success. Account specialist, person like myself or Andrew. We have a number here as well, 312-884-0162. We typically work with new people, in their first couple of weeks here. If you got questions and feedback on the webinar, feedback@nadex.com. Feel free to email us, ask us questions, critique me. Feel free to let me know how I can make this experience better for you, your mom, your dad, your family, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Tell them all about it. Create a trading group. Be interested to learn more about the markets. This is a heck of an opportunity, and hopefully this webinar got to teach you guys a little bit more about our platform, at least on the computer, and how to actually navigate it and go about it, and hopefully sail in the right direction. with the wind at your back. Again, Twitter shout out. If you guys follow on Twitter at Nadex, I help put a lot of postings on Twitter. Just kind of keep in the loop, make sure that news is always coming to you from the fundamental side and also the technical side. If you guys have any questions, feel free to stick around. That is going to be the conclusion of our webinar. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.